Sultan Ibrahim granted an audience to the Prime Minister at Istana Bukit Tungku in Kuala Lumpur. During the meeting, the King was briefed on various current issues, including the implementation of the Budi Madani Run 95 initiative. According to a post on Sultan Ibrahim's official Facebook page, His Majesty was also updated on preparations for the 47th ASEAN Summit, scheduled to take place in the capital next month. On Monday, Anwar announced a reduction in the price of Run 95 petrol to 1 ringgit 99 cent per litre, down from 2 ringgit 5 cent through targeted subsidies under the Budi 95 initiative. Now, the government will seek assistance from friendly nations in the West Asia should Israel continue its aggressive actions against 34 Malaysians on the Global Sumut Flotilla GSF humanitarian mission to Gaza. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Hamidi said the convoy is nearing the danger zone where various risks could occur. According to Zahid, the government is closely monitoring the situation and reaffirmed its commitment to protecting the flotilla delegates during their voyage to Gaza through diplomatic channels.
Membantu sedaya mungkin yang boleh untuk membantu bukan sahaja 34 rakyat Malaysia yang berada di sana tetapi juga seluruh 500 ahli-ahli rombongan flotilla supaya sesuatu dilakukan untuk menyelamatkan mereka.
He said this to reporters after visiting the Sumut Nusantara Command Centre in Sepang on Thursday. Zahid also held a video call with the Malaysian volunteers taking part in the GSF mission. He further stressed that the government will provide legal assistance should any aggressive or legal action be taken against the Malaysian volunteers. It was reported that Malaysian volunteers under the Sumut Nusantara banner for the GSF are safe despite a series of drone attacks and communication disruptions as it drew closer to Gaza's waters. The flotilla, made up of over 52 vessels, set sail from Barcelona earlier this month with the aim of breaking Israel's blockade of Gaza and delivering aid to the territory. Earlier, Spain and Italy have sent naval ships into the Mediterranean Sea charged with protecting the Global Sumut Flotilla GSF, which is carrying aid towards Gaza. Italy's Defense Minister Guido Crosetto on Thursday said that Rome had dispatched a frigate the previous day after a drone attack targeted the GSF in international waters while it was en route to Gaza to deliver aid. Meanwhile, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said that the Navy will join Italy in deploying warships, stressing that citizens from 45 nations involved in the aid mission have the right to sail the Mediterranean safely. Activists reported a wave of attacks on Wednesday night by Israeli drones and aircraft targeting vessels in what flotilla organizers described as an alarmingly dangerous escalation. Passengers on board reported that multiple boats were targeted by low-flying drones which dropped flashbang-type explosives and other unidentified objects on and around the vessels. The issue of Palestine is gaining increased traction among world leaders during 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York. Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan, who is leading the Malaysian delegation, is expected to build on this positive momentum, with several Western countries now recognizing Palestine as a state in pressing for Gaza's cause. Amanda Lopez reports from New York.
Muhammad, who has arrived in New York, is scheduled to deliver Malaysia's national statement during the general debate on Saturday at around 5 p.m. local time. Permanent representative of Malaysia to the UN, Dato' Ahmad Faisal Muhammad, said the statement will underline Malaysia's unwavering support for Palestine, with particular focus on the ongoing war in Gaza.
The reflection on the establishment of the United Nations, its purposes, successes and failures, Palestine, especially the ongoing war in Gaza, a reform of the UN, the concerns of the Global South and issues of development, Malaysia's priorities as chair of ASEAN, and also the future of the UN and multilateralism.
He said this during a media briefing to highlight the foreign minister's 4-day working visit. Additionally, Muhammad will also take part in several meetings on the sidelines of the general debate. This include the 15th meeting of the UN Group of Friends on Mediation and a ministerial session in support of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees, UNRWA. He is also expected to attend the ministerial meeting of the Hague Group on Palestine, as well as the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC's annual coordination meeting of foreign ministers. A meeting with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is also on the agenda. The foreign minister will also hold bilateral talks with his counterparts from Slovenia, South Korea, the United Arab Emirates, Uganda, Thailand and Jordan. This year's General Assembly is hugely significant as the United Nations commemorates its 80th anniversary. Founded to maintain global peace, forge international cooperation and protect human rights, Foreign Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Hassan will reflect on whether the United Nations is playing its role in addressing the growing global conflicts. Amanda Lopez, cameraman and Gunasegran, New York, TV3.
ASEAN member states are set to accelerate efforts to harmonize grid codes under the ASEAN Power Grid APG implementation agreement. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadillah Yusof said this will be achieved through the signing of a memorandum of understanding at the ASEAN Energy Ministers meeting next month. Speaking at the 11th ASEAN-EU Business Summit in the capital on Thursday, Fadillah said the enhanced agreement will primarily focus on achieving cross-border interoperability. This includes the alignment of standards, regulations and trading models between member states.
So we have a good example already, which is Laos, Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore. The cross-border trade of energy is already happening. So that is a good example. If we can expand that to all other member states and eventually if everybody agrees, so we already have the business model.
He added that cooperation with the European Union, EU, is crucial as the bloc has already successfully implemented cross-border energy exchanges. Therefore, ASEAN should draw on the US's experience in areas such as technical aspects, financing and governance. Malaysia is exploring new 5G broadcasting technology to enhance content delivery methods. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadil said this technology allows content to be transmitted directly to devices without the need for internet access. Fahmi said that the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, had already started conducting testbed sessions to assess its potential.
Mode penyiaran yang boleh disampaikan tanpa menggunakan internet maupun menggunakan Wi-Fi. Jadi dia adalah straight kepada device, kepada peranti kita.
He said this in a press conference after officiating the 5G broadcast conference in Putrajaya on Thursday. The event was also attended by Deputy Communications Minister Teo Ni Ching and Media Prima Berhad Group Managing Director Datuk Rafiq Razali. Fahmi explained that beyond its use in entertainment and sports, the technology also has potential applications in emergency alert warning systems and public announcements. Malaysia is optimistic about finalizing free trade agreement FTA negotiations with the European Union EU in the near future. Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan said the talks are expected to resume in November.
As negotiations for the Malaysia-EU trade agreement resume this November, we anticipate fresh opportunities in digital trade, green technology, transfers and sustainable value chains. I'm optimistic that we'll come to a conclusion of the EU-Malaysia trade agreement soon.
Amir Hamzah said this in his opening address at the 11th ASEAN-EU Business Summit held in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. Last year, the EU was Malaysia's fourth largest trading partner, with bilateral trade exceeding $45 billion. The EU was also the country's fourth largest export destination and third largest source of imports. Malaysia is strengthening its role as a consistent and reliable partner in supplying palm oil to India. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said Malaysia possesses strong competitiveness and sustainability through the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil MSPO certification scheme. Johari, who is on a working visit to India, emphasized that palm oil is edible and rich in nutritional value.
This platform and forum that a lot of new ideas, new technologies and issues that can be discussed in order to make sure that this edible oil platform will be continue growing, and also a requirement for the world to see how important is this edible oil.
He said this after delivering his keynote address at the Globe Oil India 2025 conference held in Mumbai. He added that not only is Malaysia able to ensure a consistent supply to its trading partners, but also offers palm oil at competitive prices that meet global sustainability standards.
All this, you must be able to produce this sustainably, because we need to take care about the world, the climate change, and deforestation. And so all these are a subject that we need to make sure that every countries in the world who produce edible oil must subscribe to this agenda.
Palm oil is the primary choice for the Indian population, accounting for 34.2% or 9.7 million tons of the total annual edible oil consumption of 28.3 million tons. Malaysia continues to be a major supplier, exporting 3.4 million tons of palm oil and palm-based products worth over 15 billion ringgit to India last year. China's Premier Li Qiang and European Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen stressed cooperation during talks in New York on Thursday, as the world's number 2 and 3 economies look to diffuse trade tensions while squeezed by US President Donald Trump's tariffs. Von der Leyen said on X that she discussed trade with China's number 2 leader on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly and welcomed Beijing's willingness to engage in a spirit of mutual understanding. She noted Europe's concerns over export controls and market access remain. Li, meanwhile, voiced hope that China and the EU would uphold their diplomatic ties and keep trade and investment markets open. With Trump's tariffs squeezing exports on both sides, Beijing and Brussels now have fresh incentive to find common ground after years of friction. Drugs worth over 3 million ringgit seized. The details after this breather.
The best content doesn't just entertain, it sells. At Content Berhangat, we build campaigns that move customers from watching to buying. From screen to store, we know how to make every second of attention count. Custom advertising campaigns built for your business. Professional ads that put you in the spotlight. Exclusive rates you won't find anywhere else. It's not just advertising, it's real business growth. Register now at AdvantageRSVP.com.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Kalau kita beli ikan, kena pakai duit kan? Kalau ikan ni untuk alas perut je lah. Saya terpaksa terus bangun lah. Kena bangkit demi anak-anak. Lepas tu dia pesan dekat anak-anak, jaga diri baik-baik. Saya tak keluar bilik. Kemurungan lah masa tu. 3 bulan tak ada siapa-siapa dengan saya time tu. Saya dengan anak-anak je.
Memang saya kompetitif punya orang, saya punya mindset memang pergi sana untuk menang lah. Saya bawa nama Malaysia lah di luar.
Sukan gusilingan ini dah bertapak kat Malaysia lebih 30 tahun, tapi kita dah jadikan dia sukan rasmi lah, diiktiraf daripada Kementerian Belia dan Sukan.
Game ni memang cepat lah. Mind you kena fokus and you kena cepat.
Welcome back. The Human Rights Commission of Malaysia, or Suhakam, has been granted a watching brief in the case involving 5 teenagers charged with bullying the late Zara Khairina Mahathir. Kota Kinabalu Children's Court Judge Elsie Primus granted the application from Suhakam under Section 12, subsection 3C of the Child Act during a pre-trial case management hearing on Thursday. The court's public relations officer Cindy MC Juice Buletin said the prosecution served 15 documents on the first teenager and 18 documents each on the remaining 4 under Section 51A of the Criminal Procedure Code. An additional 5 documents will also be served on all the children at the next pre-trial case management on October 16th. The trial, which was fixed for December 9th to 20th, will proceed as scheduled. On August 20th, all 5 minors whose identities cannot be disclosed under the Child Act pleaded not guilty to the charge. They were accused of acting with common intention and using insulting words against the 13-year-old on July 15th between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. Zara was found unconscious in her school dormitory in Papa on July 16th and was pronounced dead at Queen Elizabeth Hospital the next day. A senior police officer pleaded not guilty at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on Thursday to 2 charges of failing to declare over 297,000 ringgit in assets. 41-year-old Muhammad Shahril Abu Bakar was accused of deliberately ignoring a notice issued by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, on March 30th last year, which required him to declare various assets that he acquired between May 17th, 2021 and March 26, 2024. He allegedly failed to disclose the source of funds deposited into 2 bank accounts belonging to a company he had an interest in. He was also charged with failing to explain to the MACC how he came to own assets, including over 700 grams of digital gold, 80,000 ringgit in cryptocurrency, and 110,000 ringgit in unit trust investments. If convicted, he faces a maximum 5 years imprisonment or a fine of 100,000 ringgit. Judge Rosli Ahmad allowed a 15,000 ringgit bail with 1 surety and set October 29th for case mention. Six people were left injured in a 6-vehicle accident in Cheng, Malacca early Thursday morning. The 6:30 a.m. crash occurred on the Alor Gajah Malacca Tengah Jasin AMJ Expressway involving a pickup truck and 5 cars. Dashboard camera footage that went viral on social media shows the pickup truck losing control and crashing into a road divider before overturning and landing on 5 cars waiting at a traffic light in the opposite lane. Malacca Tengah Police Chief, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Patit said officers from the Tanjung Minyak Police Station were alerted to the accident at 7:30 a.m. and immediately rushed to the scene. Initial investigations indicate that the pickup truck driver was believed to be driving under the influence of alcohol. All 6 victims sustained minor injuries and were taken to Malacca Hospital for treatment. The crash also caused severe traffic congestion and an oil spill along the road. Police, together with the Fire and Rescue Department, assisted in managing the scene while clean-up efforts were carried out to ensure road safety. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. And in Johor, police have crippled a drug syndicate operating in Johor Bahru, seizing ecstasy valued at nearly 3.5 million ringgit. 3 individuals, including a couple aged between 23 and 29, were arrested in 2 raids in Taman Sentosa on September 20th and 21st. The syndicate had been using an apartment unit as a processing and storage center for the drugs. During the raids, police seized more than 24 kilograms of ecstasy powder and over 113 liters of liquid ecstasy.
Suspek pertama dan kedua, iaitu yang mula-mula ditangkap, berperanan sebagai pengedar. Manakala suspek yang ketiga adalah berperanan sebagai penjaga stor ataupun penyimpan dadah tersebut.
The syndicate, active since last July, is believed to have supplied the drugs to the local market, distributing them at entertainment outlets as well as through online sales. All 3 suspects have been remanded for 7 days until this Saturday. The case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act. Over 40 Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks. This and more when Nightline returns.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Mira nak kongsikan sedikit panduan keselamatan anak ketika di luar rumah. Pastikan keadaan sekeliling, pantau pergerakan anak dan jangan biarkan mereka berkeliaran jauh daripada anda. Elakkan pemakaian barang kemas yang berlebihan. Yang terakhir, boleh bawa whistle bersama. Jerit sekuat hati atau tiup whistle untuk menarik perhatian orang sekeliling sekiranya diganggu atau merasa terancam. Dapatkan pelbagai informasi bermanfaat bersama Nona setiap Ahad jam 2 petang di TV3.
Lelaki itu lemah. Saya ada jin itu. Boleh tunaikan unlimited rewards. Ingatkan lelaki jin tak cukup satu. Lagi layan dengan Tonton Up. Rewards non-stop. Nak ni, nak tu. Semua untuk korang. Langgan Tonton RM9.90 je. Baru puas.
Memang saya kompetitif punya orang, saya punya mindset memang pergi sana untuk menang lah. Saya bawa nama Malaysia lah di luar.
Sukan gusilingan ni dah bertapak kat Malaysia lebih 30 tahun, tapi kita dah jadikan dia sukan rasmi lah, diiktiraf daripada Kementerian Belia dan Sukan.
Game ni memang cepat lah. Mind you kena fokus and you kena cepat.
News from the foreign front. At least 43 Palestinians have been killed since dawn on Thursday in Israeli military strikes on central and southern Gaza. The casualties included 11 displaced Palestinians, among them children who were killed in central Gaza's Al-Zawaida area after overnight Israeli airstrikes struck a family home sheltering them. Zionist forces also shot and killed 2 people seeking aid in separate incidents in central and southern Gaza, while an airstrike northeast of Gaza City killed at least 2 others. At the same time, 3 Israeli military divisions are pushing deeper into Gaza City and the north, while additional troops continue advancing the southern part of the Palestinian enclave. In other news, more than 1,000 children in Indonesia's West Java have suffered food poisoning this week from school lunches, the latest in a series of outbreaks and another setback for the president's multi-billion free meals program. Officials on Thursday said the mass poisoning was reported in 4 areas of West Java province, which came as non-governmental organizations issued calls to suspend the program over health concerns. More than 470 students fell ill in West Bandung on Monday after eating free lunches, with 3 more outbreaks on Wednesday in West Bandung and Sukabumi, affecting at least 580 children. Kitchens with poisoning cases had been suspended. The latest cases follow the poisoning of 800 students last week in West Java and Central Sulawesi, linked to school lunches from President Prabowo Subianto's flagship Free Nutritious Meals program. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has been sentenced to 5 years in jail on Thursday after being found guilty of criminal conspiracy in a case involving millions of euros in illicit funds from the late Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. The Paris Criminal Court acquitted him of other charges, including passive corruption and illegal campaign financing. The former president, who denies wrongdoing and calls the case politically motivated, was accused of using Gaddafi's money to fund his 2007 campaign in exchange for helping the Libyan leader improve ties with the West. Judge said Sarkozy allowed aides to seek financial support from Libyan officials, but the court ruled there was not enough evidence to prove he personally benefited. Sarkozy now faces 5 years behind bars, marking a stunning downfall for France's former head of state. And on to sports now. Futsal. Malaysia has qualified for the 2026 Asian Cup in Jakarta next January, despite a 4-0 defeat to 13-time champions Iran in their final Group G qualifier at the Sukpa Indoor Stadium in Kuantan on Wednesday. Iran dominated early, breaking through in the 4th minute when goalkeeper Said Momeni set up Mehdi Mehdikani for a stunning finish. Another lapse at a 12-minute corner allowed Muhammad Hussein Deraksani to double the lead. The visitors added 2 more in the second half through Hossein Tayebi and Ali Khalilvan to seal the win. Still, the national team under Thai coach Ratpol Sainagam advanced as one of the 7 best runners-up, collecting 6 points from 3 matches. This marks Malaysia's first qualification for the Asian Cup since 2018 in Taiwan, ending an 8-year wait. Turning to badminton, the 2025 Korea Open, only 2 Malaysian representatives remain in the Super 500 tournament, with mixed doubles pair Goh Sun Huat and Shavan Lai breaking a run of early exits by reaching the quarterfinals on Thursday. The world number 8 duo swept aside China's Gao Jiasuan and Wu Mingying 21-16, 21-13 in their first ever meeting. They now face top seeds Jiang Jianbang and Wei Yaxin in the last 8. Also advancing are independent pair Wong Tianqi and Lin Qiuxian, who booked their first ever Super 500 quarterfinal after a gutsy comeback win over South Korea's Lee Jongmin and Chae Yu-jung 9-21, 21-15, 21-17. They next meet Denmark's Mathias Christensen and Alexandra Boyen. However, it was the end of the road for men's singles shuttler Justin Ho and men's doubles pair Chung Hon-jian and Haikal Nazri. And that concludes this edition of Nightline. Before we leave, let's take a look at Polish climber Andrzej Bagil, who became the first person to ski down Everest without supplementary oxygen. With that, I'm Muhammed. Hamdan. Thanks for watching and stay safe.